Have you ever had a friend who always seems supportive on the surface, but deep down, something feels off? Maybe their words are friendly, but their tone, their actions, and that subtle look in their eyes tell a different story. What if I told you that hatred isn't always loud? Sometimes it hides behind a smile, a joke, or even silence. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, introduced the idea of the shadow self, the hidden part of us that we refuse to acknowledge. When someone secretly resents you, their true feelings will slip through the cracks in ways they can't control. And if you're paying attention, the signs are unmistakable. One of the clearest signs is sarcasm and backhanded compliments. They'll say things that seem harmless on the surface, but if you listen closely, there's always an edge to their words. Wow, you actually did something right for once. Or, I wish I had the time to waste on things like you do. These comments are meant to humiliate you, but when you call them out, they'll laugh it off. Relax, it was just a joke, they'll say. But was it? This type of disguised contempt isn't random. Jung believed that people project their own insecurities onto others. When someone feels inferior, they won't always admit it. Instead, they'll try to make you feel small. Over time, this pattern chips away at your confidence. The worst part, you start wondering if maybe you're just imagining it. But you're not. If every interaction with them leaves you questioning yourself, it's time to pay attention. And that's just the beginning. Because the deeper this hidden resentment runs, the more dangerous it becomes. Another subtle but dangerous sign is hidden sabotage. Unlike obvious enemies, fake friends won't attack you outright. Instead, they'll subtly stand in your way, making sure you never quite get ahead. Maybe they forget to tell you about an important opportunity or give you misleading advice disguised as concern. You tell them about a new goal you're excited about, and instead of encouragement, they plant seeds of doubt. Are you sure that's a good idea? I mean, I heard it's really hard to succeed in that. They'll act like they're looking out for you, but their words always leave you feeling uncertain, as if they're trying to hold you back. It doesn't stop there. You might notice small coincidences piling up. Messages they didn't pass along, appointments they conveniently forgot to remind you about, or last-minute changes that put you in a bad position. On their own, these incidents seem harmless. But when they keep happening, you have to ask yourself, is this person really that forgetful, or is there something more to it? Jung believed that when people suppress their envy or resentment, it doesn't disappear. It seeps out in ways they don't even realize. They can't bring themselves to openly admit their hostility, so they express it in indirect, passive-aggressive ways. And by the time you realize what's happening, they've already done the damage. The scariest part? You might still be giving them the benefit of the doubt. Because the people who sabotage you the most aren't always strangers or rivals. Sometimes, they're the ones closest to you. Another sign that someone secretly resents you is constant competition disguised as casual conversation. Some people simply can't stand to see you succeed. Every time you accomplish something, they feel the need to one-up you. You share exciting news. Maybe you landed a new job, hit a personal milestone, or achieved something meaningful. Instead of congratulating you, they immediately shift the focus back to themselves. Oh, that's cool, but I actually did something similar a while ago. Or worse, they downplay your success altogether. Well, that's not really a big deal. Anyone could do that. This isn't about healthy competition. It's about insecurity. Jung believed that when people are unwilling to face their own shortcomings, they project those feelings outward. Seeing you succeed reminds them of what they haven't achieved, and instead of using that as motivation, they turn it into resentment. Pay attention to their energy when you talk about your wins. Do they look genuinely happy for you, or does their body language tighten up? Do they celebrate with you, or do they immediately try to change the subject? Real friends lift each other up. But those who secretly hate you will never let you have your moment. They don't want to see you ahead of them, and they'll do anything to make sure you stay right where you are. Another dangerous sign is superficial support that lacks real substance. These people pretend to be in your corner, but when you need them the most, they're nowhere to be found. When you're struggling, they minimize your problems. It's not that bad, you're overreacting. When you need advice, they give vague, dismissive responses. I'm sure you'll figure it out. But when they're in trouble, they expect you to drop everything to help them. The pattern becomes clear over time. They only show up when it benefits them, but when the roles are reversed, they suddenly have excuses. If they do support you, it feels forced, like they're doing the bare minimum to maintain their image, not because they genuinely care. Jung spoke about ego dissociation, where some people emotionally disconnect from others as a defense mechanism. Instead of feeling genuine empathy, they put up a mask of friendliness while secretly resenting you. They may not openly sabotage you, but their indifference speaks volumes. The next time something good happens in your life, watch how they react. Do they genuinely celebrate with you, or do they act disinterested? When you're struggling, do they actually help, or do they brush it off? Because a real friend doesn't just show up when it's convenient. A real friend is there when it matters. A more manipulative sign is control disguised as concern. Some people don't want to see you grow because it threatens their sense of control over you. So instead of outright discouraging you, they mask their interference as helpful advice or looking out for your best interests. They constantly question your decisions. Are you sure you want to do that? I just don't want you to make a mistake. They make you doubt yourself. I mean, if it were me, I'd do it differently, but it's your choice. And if you don't take their advice, they act offended, as if you've disrespected them. At first, it seems like they care, but over time, their advice feels less like support and more like control. Every time you make an independent decision, they find a way to make you feel like you're wrong. Their goal isn't to help you, it's to keep you dependent on them. Jung believed that people who struggle with their own insecurities often try to control others as a way of coping. By keeping you small, they feel bigger. By making you doubt yourself, they feel more certain. But here's the truth. Real friends give advice, but they don't demand obedience. They support your choices, even when they're different from theirs. The moment someone starts making you feel like you need their approval to live your life, it's no longer about friendship, it's about control. Another insidious sign is spreading rumors and subtle criticism behind your back. People who secretly resent you rarely confront you directly. Instead, they whisper. They plant seeds of doubt in others' minds, shaping how people see you without you even realizing it. You start noticing strange shifts in people's behavior. Friends act distant. Co-workers seem colder. You can't pinpoint why, but something has changed. Eventually, you hear about the things that were said, distorted half-truths, twisted narratives, or outright lies. And the worst part? It didn't come from an enemy. It came from someone you trusted. Jung believed that people project their own insecurities onto others to avoid facing them. Those who gossip the most are often the ones with the most to hide. By tearing you down, they try to lift themselves up. They need to paint you in a negative light so they don't have to confront their own shortcomings. If someone in your circle constantly talks negatively about others, chances are they do the same to you when you're not around. And if your reputation is mysteriously suffering despite your actions, you might have a hidden enemy disguised as a friend. Because real friends protect your name when you're not there. Fake ones make sure your absence is an opportunity. Another undeniable sign is a lack of genuine happiness for your success. When someone truly cares about you, they celebrate your victories as if they were their own. But when someone secretly hates you, your success feels like a personal attack to them. You achieve something big, and instead of excitement, they give you a half-hearted, "Oh, that's nice." Their enthusiasm feels forced, their compliments feel empty, and their body language tells the truth. Crossed arms, a tight-lipped smile, a sudden change in mood. If they do acknowledge your success, they quickly shift the conversation back to themselves or try to downplay what you've achieved. Jung believed that unresolved personal conflicts make people resent those who succeed where they have failed. Your accomplishments serve as a painful reminder of what they haven't done, and instead of using that as motivation, they turn it into bitterness. Pay attention to the energy people give you when you win. Real friends will cheer for you, lift you up, and encourage you to go even further. But fake friends, hidden enemies, they'll struggle to hide their frustration. Because deep down, your success is their greatest insecurity. The final and perhaps most revealing sign is their nonverbal language betrays them. Words can be controlled, but body language, micro-expressions, and subtle reactions always tell the truth. Maybe their smile never quite reaches their eyes. Maybe their voice changes slightly when they say something nice. Or maybe there's a moment of hesitation before they congratulate you, just long enough to make you wonder if they really mean it. You notice the small things. Their posture stiffens when you talk about your success. They avoid eye contact at key moments. Their laughter feels forced, or their tone is just a little too sharp when they make a joke at your expense. They might even give you backhanded compliments with a smirk that doesn't match their words. Jung believed that the unconscious mind never lies. No matter how much someone tries to hide their resentment, their body always gives them away. The slight twitch of an eye, the sudden tension in their shoulders, the fleeting expression of irritation before they mask it, it all reveals the truth they won't say out loud. If your instincts tell you that someone's energy feels off, trust them. Because even if their words are polite, their actions and their body language will always tell you how they really feel.